नमस्कार दर्शक मित्रों, थिंकलाइन के एक नए संस्करण में आपका फिर से स्वागत है। वेरी वार्म वेलकम टू द न्यू एडिशन ऑफ थिंकलाइन। And as you see the guest, you will understand we are going to talk on strategic affairs of the world geopolitics. And there's something very hot going on right now. आप सब जानते हैं, भारत के अंदर रामलला की धूम है। अभी 2 दिन बचे हैं अयोध्या में प्राण प्रतिष्ठा को। पूरा देश राममय बना हुआ है। भारत को ताल्लुक नहीं रखता मगर फिर भी लगता है। हम जो विषय पे बात करने वाले हैं, द सब्जेक्ट ऑन विच वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक टुडे is going to be very, very paramount importance, I would say, for the Indian growth in the future of last coming 4-5 years. If we can put our noses clean and walk through this muddle which is going on right now, it's going to help us. Dr. Adityanjee, a very warm welcome to our small news channel, and we are going to see some strategic importance of Bharat in the Red Sea. Along with that, we are going to see this small skirmishes, the drama which is going on between Iran and Pakistan. I would call it a drama because till now they have said, yes, Iran has mobilized everything. They have mobilized very heavily. But I don't know whether there'll be an actual war or not. It's like a kid's play, One goes and throws some missiles on some terrorist camps. The other one goes and throws some missiles on balloons. And then there's a brotherly fight. दोस्तों, ये सब भी हो रहा है। और साथ में the Houthis are serious. The proxies of Iran are creating more trouble than the original ones. That's what is happening. There have been a 5th strike of US on Houthi targets. Yes, Jaishankar was in Iran and he's obviously said that impressed upon please not to target our ships. And India is sailing through. Till now, India is sailing through. पर जब हम रामलला की बात करते हैं, कमिंग रिपब्लिक डे की बात करते हैं 26 को, the days are very, very dicey. Sir, what do you see this Middle East conflict leading up to? And how India can get away without getting into any sort of muddle? That is what is the prime concern today. Dr. Adityanjee, the floor is yours. I'm not giving you a bigger introduction. I'm not giving a bigger introduction of the conflict which we are going to talk in. But then things are changing hour by hour. Because I saw some videos which were showing, large number of ballistic missiles being transferred from one place to other in Iran. That could be just a show, which generally is. What's happening, sir?
First of all, let me thank you, Himanshu ji, that you chose to invite me today on January 20th,
Yes, sir.
Saturday, 2 days before the
Pran Pratishtha.
प्राण प्रतिष्ठा।
Yes, sir.
सारा वातावरण राममय हो गया है। भक्ति बहुत आवश्यक है, क्योंकि भक्ति से हमें उद्देश्य मिलता है। लेकिन अगर हमारा उद्देश्य राष्ट्र निर्माण है, तो भक्ति के साथ साथ राजनीति और कूटनीति भी चलना आवश्यक है।
Yes.
हमेशा हमारी त्रुटि यह रही है भारत में कि भक्ति मार्ग को अपनाकर हमने बाकी विषयों को
दरकिनार कर दिया।
नजरअंदाज कर दिया।
Yes.
हमने अपनी शक्ति को नहीं पहचाना, सब कुछ भगवान के भरोसे छोड़ दिया कि भगवान ही रक्षा करेंगे। अरे भगवान ने आपको शक्ति दी है रक्षा करने की, तो कोई भी अवसर ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए जिसमें हम अपना ध्यान जो आताताई ताकतें हैं, शक्तियां हैं, उन पर केंद्रित ना करें। चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए।
Yes.
हमारे यहाँ युद्ध के नियम हुआ करते थे। हर युद्ध एक धर्म युद्ध हुआ करता था। कोई भी युद्ध के नियमों के विपरीत नहीं जाता था। उसका कारण, उसी कारणवश जो शत्रु थे उन्होंने हमारी कमजोरी को समझा और रात को आक्रमण किए जब हमारे सैनिक सो रहे हुआ करते थे, चाहे वो राजा दाहिर की सेना हो चाहे किसी और की। तो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि अगले 2 दिन में या अगले 4 दिन में जब गणतंत्र दिवस मनाया जाएगा तब हम इतने हर्ष उल्लास में लीन हो जाएं कि बाकी चीजें भूल जाएं। तो ये मेरा एक छोटा सा संदेश है।
Yes, sir.
आते हैं अब कूटनीति की बात पर, भू राजनीति की बात पर। तो जो हो रहा है वहां पे वो काफी खेल खेले जा रहे हैं और काफी नाटक खेले जा रहे हैं।
Yes.
पश्चिम एशिया में स्वामित्व का जो झगड़ा है, कौन अधिनायक होगा, वो सऊदी अरेबिया होगा या ईरान होगा या तुर्की होगा। ये एक त्रिकोण चला हुआ है। अब इजराइल गाजा में जो युद्ध चल रहा है, ईरान अपना संदेश भेज रहा है। गाजा में हमास उनका
Proxy.
एक तरह से हूती है, प्रॉक्सी है। लेबनान में हिजबुल्लाह इनका प्रॉक्सी है। फिर आप देखें सीरिया में, इराक में, यमन में हूतीज। So, as a state policy, Islamic Republic of Iran wants to take over the leadership of the West Asia or so-called Middle East, which I would rather say WANA region, West Asia, North Africa region, that is, basically the region where Islamic nations abound. So in this fight for supremacy, United States, of course, is supporting Saudi Arabia, and Iran has issues with that. So they have proxies everywhere. And these attacks on merchant shipping vessels by Houthi rebels who are based in Yemen and are carrying a war since 2014 onwards, after displacing a Sunni-led government.
Yes.
The Houthi rebels are Shia rebels supported by Iran. They started attacking these merchant vessels to force the international community to force Israel to stop special operations in Gaza.
Yes.
So that is this thing. And in that process, they are attacking all the, merchant vessels, does not matter whose flag you have. Their force is that we will bring you to ransom. The ransom is force Israel to stop attacking Gaza. Now, in that process, the Western Alliance has made a 12-nation force, and the aircraft carrier battle group, Dwight Eisenhower, is there in the Red Sea. And they have started making preemptive strikes, as you said, fifth preemptive strike. Their FA-17 kind of Hornet jets are actually pounding some of the Houthi strongholds where missiles are located, identified in a preemptive manner. It is a costly operation. Question was asked to Joe Biden whether it will stop the Houthi rebel attacks. Answer was no. But what is the aim then if you cannot stop? Degrade their capabilities.
Yes.
So they are trying to degrade the capabilities. For Houthis, it's a low-cost operation. For United States, it's a high-cost operation. They've already spent more than 1,000 crores, in these preemptive strikes. Bharat was invited to join this multilateral force, and as usual, rightly, we did not join, but it does not mean that we don't have presence there. Traditionally, we had 4 ships, Indian naval ships, on anti-piracy patrols. At this point in time, there are more than 10 ships. And whenever there's an attack on an Indian flag vessel or vessel of any nationality in which either the cargo is Indian or the sailors are Indian, Indian Navy has been very prompt in responding and bringing the sailors to the safety, the merchant mariners to the safety. So that is going on. And you mentioned about Dr. Jaishankar's visit to Iran, which was at a right time and a right message, possibly about, enlarging the scope of Charbar port and the IN International North-South Transport Corridor. Because that becomes our lifeline to Afghanistan and Central Asia. And since we don't have land access to Afghanistan directly under the current conditions. Now, the skirmishes between Iran and Pakistan, what is the significance of that? Are they related to Israel-Gaza conflict and the broader problems in the Middle East or Red Sea, in which Iran is sending a message, or they are independent? That is a crucial question. Seemingly, it appears that they are separate issues. Iran and Pakistan have been trading hostilities at low level and having skirmishes from 2014 onwards.
Yes.
This is not a single thing. In fact, there's a op-ed piece in the Dawn, which is a Pakistani newspaper, which gives the timeline every year, one
Something
way
or
or
other happened.
So they have been doing it. And the reason is that despite being brotherly nations, one is Shia, other is Sunni, and the wider conflict in West Asia is a Shia versus Sunni conflict for the leadership of the Islamic Ummah or OIC. So that has to be kept in mind. There are different variations or different interpretations, what prompted the current one. As you know that on the anniversary of General Soleimani's death, there was a terrorist attack on Iran.
It's a revenge. Yes.
Iran blame was Israel and United States, but then ISIS took the credit for that. What is ISIS? It's a Sunni terrorist organization. Now, if ISIS could carry an operation inside Iran, where from? Where did they stage it from? That becomes the question. Did they stage it from Pakistan? If they staged it from Pakistan and the Iranian missile strikes in Pakistan's Balochistan province on Jaish al-Adl, which is again a Sunni terrorist organization. So that was message to that massacre of more than 100 people in Iran. So that is one way of interpreting it. Second is that Pakistan's ruling general was in United States for a period of 5 days very recently.
Yes.
Was there some discussion to distract Iran? And it's part of a wider geopolitical objective, because all said and done, Pakistan carries the diktats of 2 nations. One of them is United States, second is China. So there is that element. Third is that, is this what we call colloquially a Noora Kushti or a fixed match? What is happening that both these countries are not attacking terror groups within the confines of their own country? Iran is hitting at Jaish-e-Adal in Pakistan. This Sunni terrorist group is actually focused on Iran's Sistan Baluchistan province.
System.
And Pakistan is attacking BLF and BLA camps in Iran, which is Pakistani Baluchi liberation groups. That there is a difference, whereas BLF and BLA are nationalistic Baluch resistance whose limited aim is liberation of Baluchistan from Pakistani occupation and possibly larger consolidation with Iran's Sistan Baluchistan province, which is part of their traditional Baluch territory. In contrast to that, the aim of Sunni terrorist group Jaish-e-Adal is not just liberation of Sistan Baluchistan. It's overthrow of the Shiite government in Islamic Republic of Iran. So that is a much wider aim they are taking it. So both countries are maybe complicit in attacking each other's terrorist groups for domestic political consumptions. They are not doing that.
Sir, I have a question here.
Yeah.
And very pertinent one. See, the theater or the stage on which this drama is being played out is the land of Balochistan. On either side.
Yes.
On either side, we have to keep in mind that USA is seeking a base in Balochistan. That's number one. Number two, Gwadar port of China and CPEC, where Iranians actually put the missiles, are directly on that, the two places. Now, what's happening is, you know, it's a feeling in the neighboring countries, like Bharat is. Balochistan is going to be the part which is going to get disentangled from this so-called land of Pakistan. Because too many interests are going to clash there, which will lead to a high turmoil.
Well, that possibility cannot be discounted for the simple reason that Balochistan is an occupied territory. Occupied by force, by deception, by the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, and Pakistani suzerainty over the Kalats and Khanates of Baluchistan was never acceptable to Baluch people. The way the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, various governments have behaved, and GHQ have behaved as an occupying power, as a colonial power. There's hardly any benefit to Baluch people for anything that is done, because that province is rich in minerals, rich in other, natural resources. You conduct your country's second nuclear tests in Chagai Hill. Where is that? It's in Balochistan. Pakistan did not do it in Punjab, it not do it in any other province, only in Balochistan. So they are treated as kind of stepchildren or whatever, despite religious commonality. There are ethnic differences. Involving Chinese in Gwadar port, Pakistan may have thought is a master stroke. So Chinese become responsible, but in that process, Pakistan has become a China's economic colony.
Yes.
The workers and the engineers are Chinese. Pakistan is supposed to take care of them, take care of their needs, provide them with whatever comfort, including comfort women. And actually, a lot of Pakistani women are being exported to China for various reasons. There's human trafficking going on through all this network. Local Baluch people are very, very upset because all the exploitation of natural resources, carbon, hydrocarbons, minerals that China is doing there. They don't get any benefits. They
Yes.
don't get any employment. And actually, soldiers of PLA are stationed there. Now, that's a red flag for United States. So eventually, Gwadar Port and Baluchistan will become part of the superpower rivalry between these two. Superpowers, for whatever reason, I cannot predict the timeline. Keeping in mind the level of distrust Baloch people have for Pakistan, and just because they are a small minority, the numbers are smaller, and Pakistan's army is so huge that there cannot be any successful liberation movement without outside help.
ओके दर्शक मित्रों, आपने सुना, ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है। बहुत से लोग बोल रहे हैं आजकल कि सबसे पहले पाकिस्तान में से टूटेगा बलूचिस्तान टूटेगा। क्यों? इसका जवाब डॉक्टर आदित्य जी ने दे दिया। जब दो हाथी डिसाइड करते हैं कि हम जंगल के इस भाग में जाएंगे और फिर झगड़ेंगे, तो होगा क्या? वो जंगल का, वहां के एरिया के जंगल का सत्यानाश होगा। एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन बलूचिस्तान। You have to remember that. Sir, I'll come to the other side, that is the Red Sea. Now, I'll look at a scenario, the world scenario. The three navigation routes, basically, of the world. One is the Red Sea and Suez Canal. Other one is Malacca Strait. And the third one is Panama Strait. Now, today, if I talk conservatively also, it's about 35 to 40% of India's trade also happens through this. Now, on one side, we are talking of IMEC. On the other side, the trouble with Red Sea and the Houthis is going on. Somali pirates also play their role. Because that route stops, then what happens is the transportation or the logistic cost goes up by 40 to 60%. In such a case, is it not a necessity for the world to stop this piracy, number one, and stop this, Houthis from creating trouble with the world trade? See, as far as Bharat is concerned, India is concerned, they have apologized. They said, we are sorry, but we will target American British ships. Now they want to fight out. Despite knowing that they cannot stand this collective power or even US power, they want to fight it out for their religious goals. Now, in such a scenario, if for even 6 months or a few months also, if that transportation route comes to a halt, who can take that and who cannot take that? My simple question is, will it affect Bharat?
Of course, it will affect Bharat because there will be cost to the economy. And we cannot wish it away. The conflict is there. It is going to escalate.
Yes.
I think any person who has foresight and does long-term planning will understand that there's a permanent cauldron in geopolitics, and that is West Asia, North America, the North Africa region, WANA. It has never been peaceful. Let's be very honest about it. Whatever the determinants of this conflict, but the conflict keeps on manifesting in different locations, in different countries, in different formats, but it has never been peaceful. You can blame Houthi rebels for doing this, but they don't exist in isolation.
Yes.
Somebody is supporting them. Why somebody is supporting them? Because of the wider conflict. So yes, you will not, they've been fighting against Saudi Arabia since 2014.
Yes.
There's a massive war going on which nobody acknowledged, that Saudi Arabia was doing human rights violations by actually killing civilians, bombing civilians, all that thing.
Yeah, after that oil fields were bombed, by Houthi.
Yes. So this is not going to stop. That is my prediction. We'll have to learn to use the,
Other routes.
other routes, which will of course increase the, cost of freight, transport, sea transport, also add another 2 weeks into the freight. So world trade will have to learn to live with those realities. Unfortunately, there's no other area by which you can actually connect Indian Ocean with the Mediterranean or dig an alternative canal. So you're boxed in a situation. Middle East or West Asia has never been peaceful. There's one war or the other, keeps on happening. And this is not likely to stop immediately, whatever one may do it.
Okay.
So when we do our economic planning, we should not be actually relying on this peace in that Red Sea corridor. Yes, we have to continue to take steps to safeguard our interests. In fact, one way we can safeguard our interest is to have a base over there, either in Oman or in Somaliland. Somaliland is rich for picking. Djibouti already has bases from both United States
and China,
and possibly Russia. We need a base where we can be stationed to safeguard our interests and be available quickly. Oman should be one possibility. Masira Island in Oman. Actually, there is a talk. There was a historical talk of Oman, that was the original owner of Gwadar, wanting to transfer Gwadar to British India. And there was also some talk that even after the partition, Oman was still interested in transferring to India, but somehow Indian government did not take interest, and Pakistan ended up purchasing Gwadar from Oman.
Now, sir, at the end of it, my basic question, the last question, which I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask you, with this strategic mind in you, mind of yours, what do you foresee? This Pakistan-Iran, is it a Nura Kushti or is it a real fight? And if it's a real fight, how long will it go?
I think it is a combination of both. That is number one. As I said, these problems have been there since 2014 onwards. This is 2024, so more than 10 years. Both have been attacking each other's terror groups and all. So this will continue. Pakistan, in a show of force, recalled the ambassador, decided to abrogate the diplomatic relations. Iran is relocating forces and missiles on Pakistan's border. On the other hand, Pakistan is also relocating its forces from Afghanistan border and India border to Iran. So that tells you how much grave the situation is. Why did Pakistan decided to take a step back and withdraw all the hostile acts and say we are brothers and all? Because of pressure from China, not from United States. I have talked about an alternative Quad that was being developed in pre-Ukraine war era. And I used to call that jokingly PRIC, P-R-I-C. Pakistan, Russia, Iran, and China to counter the Quad that was Western-led, in which India was a partner. So it is an interest of China to not let Pakistan, Iran fight each other out and deplete their energies. So the pressure from China has led to this seeming reconciliation between Pakistan and Iran, although the basic differences still persist. So there may be a temporary quietening of the hostilities, but longer term issues will still persist.
दर्शक मित्रों, आपने सुना, longer term issues will still persist and there could be a war at any time. A large scale war may break out, can break out. Right now, China is playing its part by soothing both their proxies, both their stooges. But now, दर्शक मित्रों, जाने से पहले 2 दिन बचे हैं रामलला की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा को। 22 तारीख को तो पूरा देश, अभी से पूरा देश राममय हो चुका है। आपको एक घर नहीं दिखता जहां पर राम ध्वजा नहीं। भारत में तो एक ऐसी स्थिति बनी हुई है कि जो राम का नाम नहीं लेता वो भारतीय नहीं है। इस प्रकार का वातावरण यहाँ हो चुका है और हम देख रहे हैं विदेशों में भी कई जगह पे, यूएस में भी कई जगह पे राम जी की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा को लेके बहुत बड़ा उत्सव। एंड दिस इज गोइंग टू बी अ इवेंट ऑफ द मिलेनियम। तो हम जाने से पहले एक तो जय श्री राम कहेंगे, दूसरा आपसे अनुरोध भी करेंगे कि आप इस वीडियो को देखिए, लाइक कीजिए, सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए। आदित्य जी को मैं एक अंतिम सवाल, सर 2 मिनट में जवाब दीजिए, हमारे पास वक्त नहीं बचा है। सर, व्हाट डू यू फोरसी प्राण प्रतिष्ठा के बाद और ये 26 जनवरी के हमारे फंक्शन के बाद, व्हाट डू यू फोरसी एज द इमीडिएट फ्यूचर ऑफ भारत?
अगर मैं हिंदी में कहना चाहूंगा, राम हमारा स्वाभिमान है, राम हमारी आत्मा है, राम हमारी आध्यात्मिक, सांस्कृतिक और सभ्यता की धरोहर है। राम भारत है, राम के बिना भारत कुछ नहीं है। भारत का पुनरुत्थान हो रहा है। देखिए, भू राजनीति से सीखिए। जब पश्चिम जर्मनी ने पूर्वी जर्मनी के साथ विलय किया था, उसका एक जो मील का पत्थर था ना, वो क्या था? वो बर्लिन वॉल का ध्वस्त होना, जो 1992 में हुआ था। वो बर्लिन, भारत के लिए बर्लिन वॉल का ध्वस्त होना था। उससे जो भूकंप चला, राजनीतिक भूकंप, उसका हम परिणाम देख रहे हैं प्राण प्रतिष्ठा में। ये भारत के स्वाभिमान के युद्ध का एक चरण है और इसके होने के पश्चात जो आत्मगौरव और स्वाभिमान जागृत होगा, वह भारत को एक महाशक्ति के रूप में लेके जाएगा। ये मेरा विश्वास
एक महाशक्ति बनाएगा। डॉक्टर आदित्य जी का कहना है कि राम भारत है और राम के बिना भारत कुछ भी नहीं। मित्रों, हम इसी के साथ आज आपसे विदा लेंगे, मगर मिलेंगे फिर जब राम जी की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा हो चुकी होगी, तब एक नए संस्करण के साथ में। और हो सके तो हम आदित्य जी को भी फिर से लाएंगे, उनके साथ में राम भक्ति की बात करने, संस्कृति की बात करने के लिए, धरोहर की बात करने के लिए, कल्चर की बात करने के लिए। मगर उसके साथ में जो जियो पॉलिटिकल सिनारियोस चल रहे हैं उसके ऊपर भी नजर रखनी बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि भारत के करीब करीब बहुत कुछ हो रहा है और ये बहुत कुछ में अपना कहीं गलती से गलत जगह पे हाथ नहीं पड़ जाए, पांव नहीं पड़ जाए, उसकी हमें बहुत सावधानी रखनी। तो आज का कार्यक्रम समाप्त करने से पहले एक तो मैं डॉक्टर आदित्य जी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद अदा करूंगा, साथ में आपको प्लीज लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब तो कहूंगा ही कहूंगा। और आई से जय श्री राम, जय हिंद, वंदे।
जय